Masteron, at 1,000 milligrams per week, represents pharmacological abuse of the highest order. A dosage so extreme, it crosses from performance enhancement into dangerous self-experimentation. This astronomical amount, equivalent to 10 times therapeutic doses, creates an overwhelming androgen load that produces freakish physical transformations while systematically dismantling nearly every major physiological system. The muscle hardness and vascularity come at a price measured in permanent organ damage, endocrine destruction, and psychological trauma that may never fully heal. Users typically require daily injections of 150 milligrams. When using the propionate ester, or multiple large volume injections of the enanthate version, the constant flood of synthetic androgens creates a toxic hormonal environment where Masteron's derived structure saturates receptors throughout the body. Its complete receptor occupation produces extreme physical changes that give competitive bodybuilders an almost inhuman appearance on stage. Paper-thin skin stretched over granite-like muscles with veins tracing roadmaps across the body. But this aesthetic comes with consequences extending far beyond the competition season. Hair loss occurs at a frightening pace, with complete baldness developing in predisposed users within months. Unlike the gradual thinning seen at lower doses, this extreme exposure permanently destroys hair follicles through miniaturization. The neurological impact includes violent mood swings ranging from euphoric grandiosity to suicidal depression within hours. Sleep becomes impossible without powerful sedatives, as the constant androgen stimulation creates a hypomanic state that prevents normal circadian rhythms. Many users experience steroid-induced psychosis, with hallucinations, delusions of persecution, and completely impaired judgment that leads to dangerous, sometimes criminal behavior.
Actual testosterone production ceases within days.
With testicular atrophy becoming so severe, the gonads virtually disappear into the scrotum. The hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis becomes so profoundly suppressed that recovery may never occur, leaving users permanently dependent on testosterone replacement therapy. Bilirubin levels rise enough to cause severe jaundice, with the skin and eyes taking on a distinct yellow hue. Kidney function becomes critically impaired due to the combination of extreme hypertension, increased protein metabolism, and severe electrolyte imbalances that overwhelm renal filtration capacity. Many users develop proteinuria and other markers of early kidney failure during cycles at this dosage. Post-cycle therapy requires heroic measures including extended HCG protocols, SPHASA, and often transition to testosterone replacement therapy when natural recovery proves impossible. Even with perfect PCT, most users never regain their natural testosterone production. The lipid profile may never fully normalize, leaving users with permanent cardiovascular risks. The psychological withdrawal can be devastating, with many reporting anhedonia, sexual dysfunction, and complete loss of motivation that persists for years. The lack of estrogen conversion prevents water retention, but creates other metabolic disasters. Cortisol levels remain chronically elevated, while thyroid function becomes severely suppressed, creating a catabolic environment that paradoxically limits gains despite the massive androgen load. The risks so catastrophically outweigh the benefits that no ethical medical professional would ever countenance such use. The muscle built during these cycles is fleeting, while the damage to vital organs is permanent. The temporary transformations come at the cost of permanent systemic damage, hormonal destruction, and psychological scars that never fully heal. While the stage photos may look impressive, the reality behind them is one of a body pushed far beyond its natural limits, with consequences that extend far beyond the competition season into every aspect of the user's future health and well-being. The psychological toll of coming off these doses has destroyed lives, leaving former users unable to find satisfaction in natural pursuits or even basic life activities. Autopsy studies of former high-dose users show cardiovascular systems resembling those of 80-year-old lifetime smokers, with coronary arteries nearly completely occluded by plaque. Liver biopsies reveal fibrosis and early cirrhosis in many cases. The extreme muscle hardness, vascularity, and separation create a look that cannot be achieved through any natural means. However, even among professionals, this level of use is recognized as a Faustian bargain, trading years of life and health for temporary competitive success. Most who venture into this territory do so with full medical support and the grim understanding that they are mortgaging their future for present glory. The endocrine system often never recovers, leaving users with permanent hypogonadism requiring lifelong treatment. Perhaps most tragically, many former users find they can never experience normal emotions or sexual function without pharmacological assistance. Their neurochemistry permanently altered by the extreme androgen exposure, the dramatic physical transformations and godlike performance capabilities create an addiction to the on-cycle state that many users cannot break. The contrast between the superhuman on-cycle condition and the depleted off-cycle reality has led to numerous cases of severe depression, self-harm, and even suicide among those unable to cope with the transition. Many users become trapped in permanent cycling, continuously adding new compounds in a futile attempt to maintain their enhanced state, while their health deteriorates behind the impressive facade. Acne develops into severe cystic formations that cover the entire back, chest, and face, often leaving crater-like scars that persist for life. Body hair growth becomes excessive and unpredictable, with thick dark hair appearing in places never before haired. Lipid profiles collapse completely, with HDL cholesterol becoming undetectable, while LDL cholesterol exceeds 400 milligrams. DL, numbers normally only seen in genetic hypercholesterolemia. This creates an atherogenic environment that accelerates plaque formation at a rate comparable to decades of uncontrolled diabetes. Blood pressure routinely exceeds 200/130ths mmHg. Levels considered medical emergencies requiring hospitalization. Hematocrit regularly surpasses 65%, turning blood into a sludge so thick it strains the heart and dramatically increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, and pulmonary embolism. The skin takes on a strange leathery texture from altered collagen synthesis, while sebaceous gland hyperactivity gives the complexion an unnatural sheen. Subcutaneous water retention disappears entirely, creating a desiccated appearance where every muscle fiber stands in stark relief. The drug's impact on collagen synthesis makes tendons visible beneath the skin, while the near-total absence of body fat reveals anatomical details normally only seen in anatomy textbooks. However, this extreme dehydration comes at the cost of debilitating joint pain and connective tissue fragility. Many users at this dose report tendon ruptures during routine lifts, as the strength increases outpace what their desiccated connective tissues can handle. The sheer mechanical challenge of administering 1,000 milligrams weekly becomes a medical procedure in itself. Users commonly add 50 to 60% to their major lifts within weeks, as the drug maximizes every possible pathway for force production: neuromuscular efficiency, phosphocreatine recycling, and glycogen supercompensation all reach their genetic ceilings. Recovery becomes nearly instantaneous, allowing competitors to train the same muscle groups daily without overtaxing themselves. This creates a dangerous illusion of invincibility that leads many to push through pain signals that would normally prevent injury, resulting in catastrophic training accidents that end careers. Muscle definition reaches its absolute biological limit at this dosage. Strength enhancements become almost cartoonish at 1,000 milligrams weekly. The androgenic effects at this dosage become unbearable for all but the most genetically resistant individuals. Psychologically, the androgenic overload creates profound behavioral disturbances. Users often develop a hyper-aggressive, paranoid mindset that destroys personal and professional relationships. Cardiovascular damage at this dosage becomes inevitable and often irreversible. The endocrine system suffers near-total destruction at these doses. Liver stress becomes severe, despite Masteron's injectable nature. While not directly hepatotoxic like oral steroids, the metabolic demands of processing 1,000 milligrams weekly elevate liver enzymes 8 to 10 times above normal ranges. The psychological dependence that develops at this dosage level presents one of the most dangerous and overlooked risks. Recovery from 1,000 milligrams weekly Masteron use presents near insurmountable challenges. Long-term health consequences become virtually guaranteed with even a single cycle at this dosage. In the professional bodybuilding world, where these dosages are sometimes used, the physical results are undeniably extraordinary. For non-competitive users, there exists no justification for these dosages. Masteron, at 1,000 milligrams weekly, represents the absolute extreme of steroid abuse, a dosage so high it constitutes chemical self-mutilation in pursuit of physical perfection.